When I was 12, I went to school and I had my hair in braids. I went in feeling super happy and excited, but my teacher told me that my hair was ugly, disgusting, and wasn't school protocol. As a result, I had to take them out. I was so traumatized by the situation, I didn't get braids again till I was 25. I was a victim of hair discrimination. Hair discrimination is when you treat someone unfairly and differently, not because of who they are, but for the characteristics that they hold, which are different to the European standards. Often this is afro hair. This isn't based on appearance bias, but it's actually rather a conduit for racial discrimination.
A wrestling official told New Jersey high school athlete Andrew Johnson he would have to cut his dreadlocks in order to compete.
My son just got told he cannot attend his school with his hair.
Hair discrimination presents itself in many different ways. It could mean not getting a job because you have your hair in braids. It could be being sent home from school because you have your hair in its natural form.
You're being sent home from school for being told that your natural afro hair was too big for the classroom, essentially.
Yeah, I was told it could block people from seeing the whiteboard, it could be a distraction, it could make contact with other students. And then it was more the humiliation because it happened in public every time. It would always be, as soon as I was walking into school, there would be somebody waiting for me to say, oh, you're being sent home. Or if I got into school and I was in a lesson, someone would come in and take me out and say, your hair's a bit too big today, we need to do something about that.
When slavery was first brought into the West, one of the things that happened was that people's hair was shaved off as a form of cultural assimilation. That assimilation has transcended into the culture in which we see today. We see this in standard beauty practices.
What's happened that's so terrible? A catastrophe.
Look what happened to my hair. Normally it's straight. I was just walking down the hall when, oh, my whole head of hair popped up just like that.
When we look at long, silky hair, or when we look at European-centric hair, we associate it with upper class, status, wealth, and beauty. And when we look at afro hair, we see the opposite. I learned to love my hair through history and through actually understanding what goes into my hair and why my hair works in the way in which it does. The reason why it's so curly is because it actually protects you from the sun. So when the sun hits and you start sweating, the hair doesn't absorb the water, it actually cools you down. That made me think a little bit more about our hair. One of the things that I learned was that actually as well, our hair was used to store food because our hair is so thick, it was able to hold in rice. The sooner I learned about the power and the history of my hair, the sooner I realized there was no other way but to love it. I'm calling on the UK government to end hair discrimination by amending the Equalities Act to include afro hair. Places like New York and California have created specific laws to protect people against hair discrimination.
A new law makes California the first state to ban discrimination against Black students and employees over their natural hairstyles. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the bill into law yesterday. It protects Black people with styles like dreadlocks or cornrows.
This needs to be transcended into the UK as well. One of the things that I've developed alongside the Halo Collective is the Halo Code. The Halo Code is a campaign pledge for schools and businesses to adopt in order for Black people to feel comfortable wearing their natural hair without judgment and feel safe and free to have their hair in whichever way they want. I want everyone to feel happy, free to have their hair in its natural form without judgment or discrimination. Petitions like mine and the Halo Code are a starting point for people to feel confident and happy in their own hair. If you want to be a leader for change for the end of hair discrimination, you can sign my petition, adopt the Halo Code, and stop using terminology like coarse, frizzy, and nappy, and start using words like big, beautiful, and delicate, so people can feel comfortable, confident, and happy with the hair that they were born with.